And also, when Vanessa gave me this little letter, she put "I love you" on it. Put that applause thing up real quick. All right. There you go. All right. I got choked up there. Sorry. All right. So, what are we doing? Oh, chips. That's right. Chips. Shannon Crouch, everybody. Here you go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You look like you're the SWAT team or something.
Oh, do I? So how's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing good. Nothing broke today, so it was an easier day. So I was thinking today and praying, like I always do. You know, this world looks at that we're supposed to be check and balance if we're good enough to make it to heaven. Thank God that's not the truth. Because Jesus Christ is the one that steps on the scale for us, not us. Because if we did, we wouldn't make it. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the book and wrapping your heart more around God, and the Lord's blessing you for it. So, because I tell you what, a lot of people say I do a lot of writing every day, but it's what keeps me straight, you know. We come into those problems, and what do? Most of the time we run off and chase after a friend or something to get advice. Well, that advice is right there in front of us if we just open that word. So, all right, let's get into the chips. Any first timers? You want to come up? That first step is how we reach recovery. So, all right. You got some. All right. Anybody got 30 days? 30 days. All right. $60 days. How about 90 days? All right, 4 months. All right. You got a bunch coming. Well, one coming. How about 5 months? Six months? How about 7 months? Okay, 8 months. 9 months. How about 10 months? 11 months? All right. Anybody have a year? Joey's going to come up here and give this special next one to his.
Did I say a month yet? No. Okay, sorry. Don't jump the gun. It's not even for you. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, so this next chip I'm going to give out is an 18th month chip, and it's a super big accomplishment. I remember when I got mine, I was super proud of myself, and everybody around me was proud of me, and I didn't hear it enough. Oh, how proud of you I am, and how proud of you I am. But I truly am proud of my brother. I feel like because I got clean, it was something to him that made him want to do the same thing, you know. So even though he's my older brother, I felt like he sort of looked up to me a little bit that way, and it worked. That was one of my goals, just for him to follow me in my footsteps, and he did, and I'm super proud of him. So, John, come and get your 18th month chip.
Is there anybody else that has 18 months? Look at here. All right. Anybody have 2 years? Anybody have multiple years? Love you, brother.
I got 7 years. Yeah. Don't go far, John. You know we gotta go. Yeah. All right, one more chance before we all come up here. Does anybody be here for the first time? Remember, we got to take that first step for recovery. So, all right, everybody, come up here for your. They got chips to get your picture. Yeah. Everybody, come up here. Got chips. Yeah. And now you got Joey back. Shannon Crouch, everybody, put that applause up there real quick. You know what the awesome thing about Shannon Crouch's book is if you read it in his voice. I'm telling you, it works good. I'm for real. If you, that's the way I do. When I'm reading it, I'm reading it with his voice, and it works good. All right, congratulations to everybody who got a chip. Let's give them one more round of applause. All right, as I was talking about my brother earlier, I promised him I wasn't going to get up here and make fun of him or nothing like that, and I'm going to keep my promise for once in my life. So, how? When Sherry told me outside, she was like, Joey needs to get fired. Because all he does is get up there and make fun of everybody. And then he says, oh, I'm kidding. I was like, because I am kidding. But there's always a little truth. Yeah, there's always a little truth behind every joke. But I do it out of love. You know what I mean? I do it out of love. If I didn't give you a hard time, if I don't give you a hard time, I probably don't like you. So, and I'm just being honest. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting into. So, whenever I started the program, I would pray all the time about John coming to the program, getting here, getting there, and things happen, blah blah blah. But I think in my eyes, what really got him was Celebrate Recovery, because I gave my testimony like 2 years ago or something here. It's been a while back, and John was still out there at this point, but he would watch the Celebrate Recoveries because I was doing what I do now, and I didn't really talk to him much. I would tell him I love him all the time. He would tell me he loved. Well, actually, he would tell me he loved me, and then I would say it back. But I just, I was at the point where I was trying to better myself, and sometimes when you're doing that, friends and sometimes family, you have to love from afar, And I said that in my testimony, and it hurt him because he told me, he felt like that's why I wasn't talking to him and stuff, and I was like, that's exactly why, because I'm trying to do right and do better for myself, and you're just not there yet, and even though you're my brother and I love you, I just can't do that right now. I have to love you. I love you more than anything. He's the only family I got left, but I had to love him from afar, and when he seen that, I feel like that touched him, because it wasn't soon after that as when he got right and started getting right. So Celebrate Recovery matters, to people. Not even if they don't come, it's fine. Sometimes people watch it on there, and as whatever we do here, whatever we say here, as long as it helps one person, and it's super awesome if you say something and it helps your brother, But Celebrate Recovery matters, and we all matter. And I'm super glad he watched that episode, and got to hear me say that. It was hard for me to say that, but I'm glad he got to hear it, because look at him now. You know what I mean? Now it's his turn. He said, "Don't look at me," because everybody's head turned when I said, "Look at him now." Everybody's. But now it's his turn. Now he gets to stand up here and give his testimony, and maybe there's somebody watching and hear something in his testimony that brings them to God, brings them to recovery. So without further ado, hang on. Oh, okay, well, and I am going to get him a chair, because he asked me to, but he's not going to sit in it unless he feels like it. I just want to help him. So without further ado, Mr. John Barrett.
All right, well, love you too, Boopy. Well, Joey just gave my whole testimony, so Ryan, cue the invitation. No, I'm just joking. No. All right. Where do I begin? I think I'm going to begin with when I was young. I'm not gonna pull a Donald Jenkins. Don't worry. Love you, Donald. No, I had a pretty good childhood. Grew up with a single mom. She did whatever she could to provide us with the best life that she possibly could. But she also wanted to please us in any way that she possibly could. So when me and Joey hit our teenage years, she looked at it as, if you're going to do something, I'd rather you do it at my house instead of out getting in trouble. So she, looking back, she enabled us in a lot of things, but sometimes that happens. Me and Joey pretty much managed to stay just smoking weed and stuff like that. Sorry, Joey. I had to focus on somebody. Started just smoking weed and everything, and that continued on until our early 20s. I kind of stopped that for a little while. I got married, had 2 beautiful children, had 8 years in a marriage that eventually fell apart, and that's when everything started going downhill for me. Like, I tried so hard to keep that marriage together and do what it took, and when it finally fell apart, it broke me. I'd never been into much drugs. Might have took a Xanax here or there, smoked some weed. Didn't even really like drinking. But when I went through that divorce, I decided I was going to go hard because I didn't want to be in this life anymore. I didn't really snort pills. I went straight to intravenous use. And I'm not going to call this person out, but I'm going to call them out without saying their name. When I decided to go to intravenous use, I went to one person, asked them to do it for me, and this man has my utmost respect for telling me, no, I'm not putting that evil on you. And I love him to death, but I just went to somebody else, because if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. During that time of my life, when I woke up, that was my trigger, because I didn't want to be in this world. I woke up and I'd start going hard in the paint. I lost everything, lost the vehicles I had, lost any type of work. I was going to school to be an all-position welder. Missed too many days because I wanted to go to Florida, and I know everybody knows what I'm talking about. Eventually, I was down and out with a needle in my arm and nothing to look forward to, and I used to resent my ex-wife for taking my kids away from me and fighting all that stuff, but once I got sober, I realized she made the best move for my kids, and I respect her for that. But that also started my numerous trips to the Cocke County Jail. In 2011 is when I started going to jail, and, well, I guess my last time was 2023, but a total of 89 bookends in that jail. Huh? Joey's like, pause it. I'll go to this. In 2021, me and Joey lost our mom. On my way to the hospital to see her before she passed away, I got into a car wreck, shattered my hip. I was in UT Trauma Center for 2 weeks. Joey was in jail during all this, and he thought he was losing both of us. But you'd think that would tell me that I needed to stop, and it didn't. I just kept going further. But Joey, during this time, he found out about a little program named JCAP. The first class was going on, and I think you were second class, right? He was second class. He called me on, was it Thanksgiving? I think it was Thanksgiving, and was telling me all about it and telling me the people who was in the first class. One of them's right there. Another one, well, where'd it go? Another one's right there. um, and telling me all these good things and how things were really changing. And I could tell in his voice that it was really working on him, and that was something that I needed. And I say this all the time to a lot of people: be careful what you ask God for, because He's going to give it to you, and it may not be the way that you want it. But I wanted it out of that life. I wanted to change. So He threw me back in the Cocke County Jail. And within a week, Joey and Dan came and seen me, pulled me, brought me up early into halfway through the second class to start the third class. And everything was going good, but this was before they started doing, you have to get court ordered and be sentenced to JCAP. So when my legal obligations was up, we'll see you. And I went to California. It was a money racket. I didn't use or nothing out there. I did pretty good, but I injured myself again, and I had to come home. I did all right for like a month or two, but then being around all those old people, places, and things, I got right back into it. I didn't go back to my drug of choice, which was opiates, but I did start using meth, started smoking weed, hallucinogens. Around this time, Joey got back into the JCAP program for his second time, but I was still out there wide open. It was more the lifestyle this time than it was the drugs. I did the drugs to keep me up so I could be a bad person, be a destroyer of lives. And then I would use the other drugs to bring me down so I could get some rest. But can't remember which one of y'all it was. Well, she's gone. It was either Morgan or Megan that I was with when I seen that CR. I think it was Morgan, wasn't it? It was when we was night fishing at the river. And, and man, that broke me. And the devil has a way of telling you you're not good enough. And I thought, oh, well, they wouldn't take me back. There's no way, blah, blah, blah. Well, I went to jail for child support. And I kept asking. Dan Williams wasn't coming for me. But one of the DAs kind of made it to where he had to, and then he welcomed me with open arms. And that's when I started this term in JCAP. And about February of last year, I hurt myself again because I have ongoing hip problems. I've got screws and microwave parts in my hip, not what should be there. And but I got injured at work. And let me reverse a little bit. When I got in the program, I laid it all down to God. I told Him, I'm yours. Do what you will with me. I want to live my life for you. I want what all these other guys have. And that's when I got injured at work. That's why I say another reason why be careful what you ask God for. Because I was moving too fast, and He slowed me down quick. And He told me, look, here's your opportunity. You can either play pity party, why me, what am I going to do? Or you can get in your word, strengthen your faith, And I decided to do just that. They gave me an opportunity to teach in the jail while I was down, and that helped me learn more because that had me more in my Bible, researching stuff, setting up curriculum for my class and everything, and that really got my faith really strong. And also wanted patience, and He gave me patience with that hip thing, and then He gave me patience in the form of a fella, John Young. He has actually became one of my closest friends, though. We had a rough start. I won't say what he... But this time in the program, as you said last time, so I wasn't going to use it, but I still am. You said something about, selling your house to God, but trying to keep a room or a closet for yourself. That's what I did the last time. It don't work that way, people. If you're going to give it up to God, you got to give it all up to God. You got to let Him work in you. And for just men in general, as a man, submitting is something very hard to do. We're taught that we can do everything on our own, that we're strong. We invented the wheel and built the Eiffel Tower. But when it comes down to it, everybody needs God. It's not possible without Him. If it wasn't for people like Jesse Cavett, Donnie Dover, Matt Bradley, I love you, and people like Barbara James, Sonia, Vanessa, they all supported me in so many ways through this journey that, I'm beyond thankful for. And each in a different way, God has a way of doing things like that. He'll put the right person in your life when you need it. Sometimes it's a blessing, sometimes it's a lesson. But since I have truly given everything to God, which I'm out of work right now just temporarily because I've got some medical issues, but I still have a job full-time at American Appliance. I got blessed beyond belief on the week of my birthday. I was trying to get my license, and I went to Knoxville, got everything waived, went to Greenville, got most of that paid off and the rest on a payment plan, and I went in front of Mark Strange to see what I could do about getting a payment plan to get rid of those stuff, because I had like $68,000 in fines there in Cocke County. And he looked at my paper, and when I went in front of him, he's like, you know what? I'm going to sleep on this because I don't know what I want to do in this situation, so come back here tomorrow. Like, ugh. So I did, and when I got there, he called me into the clerk's office. He had the people from the courtroom, all the clerks, come into this little room, and he said, I want everybody here who's ever had to deal with this man, who's ever tried to help this man, and who has seen this man grow into who he is, to be here for this. He said, I'm waiving every fine, fee, whatever that I possibly can for you. The only thing that's going to be left is the ones I can't get rid of, and that went from 68 to 6,000. So that was a huge blessing. I'm currently only $564 away from getting my license. Those two beautiful babies that I talked about losing in 2011, I currently have a relationship back with them. Like, I talk to them every day. God is an awesome God. He's a God of restoration for sure. Even when I was down and out of work, I didn't worry or wonder how I was going to get my phone bill paid, how I was going to have my dip pouches, or how I was going to do anything, because somehow, some way, God always provided, and He will. But I will say that besides the people, a few key things that kept me rooted and grounded was Celebrate Recovery and my church right here, And then, I'm a graduate now. I forgot to say that. I still stay at the graduate house because I'm not financially ready to go, but that in itself is a big accomplishment for me, because if it would have been 2 years ago at October 30th on 1201, I'd have been out that door. By December, I'd have been back in that jail. But God changes people. I wasn't nervous till I got up here and started doing this. I had some people show up that I didn't know was coming. But also, these programs in this town, they are truly a godsend. Like, not just one, all of them. They have done so much for so many men and women in this county. People that I used to run around with, now I stand up and cry and praise with. You know, that's a beautiful thing. You know, it's like that. I can't even think. What's the Brandon Lake song where mental health restored, all that stuff? Too good to not believe. I've seen mental health restored. I've seen families reunited. You know, I've seen a lot of things happen, and whoever doesn't believe that there isn't modern day miracles, take a look to your left. Take a look to your right. We're all miracles in here. You know, I mean, considering where we've came from to where we are now, you know, that's but God. You know, it could only have been done with God. I've tried numerous different types of rehabs, different types of treatments, you know, and I mean, it may work for some people, but this is the only way it worked for me. And truly, I think that those some people that it's working for, it's working because they're not here. They ran away from it, didn't face it head on with God at their side. You know, the people who are doing good, and I'm glad they're doing good. To any of you who are watching, I'm thankful you were doing good. But until you face that, it's always going to be coming from behind. You know, you can't come back to your hometown because you're worried about this or worried about that. You know, I did it in my hometown. You know, and yes, they'll help you here. And for those of you who may be watching that have been away for a long time, Cocke County ain't the same. God is moving in this county in a big way. There is a strong, sober community that is here to support you with open arms. And for any of my brothers or sisters who have failed, because it happens, there's no shame. Nobody's going to judge you if you come back. Come back. Like, that's what we need. I love you too, Donald. I just want to say I love every single one of y'all. I really do. Like, as far as blood family goes, Joey is my only blood family left, but this is my bought by blood family. You know. And as Forrest Gump says, I guess that's all I got to say about that. Thank you for having me.